All right.
Holy crap, we've been talking for 10 minutes because this dope couldn't hit go live. Hello, people.
You act like I've ever actually hit the go live button. It's always been on your end.
Crap.
For the last year and a half that we've been doing this, it's always been you that hits the go live. Because I taught you, I've never done it with YouTube. So, like, okay,
y'all have missed. When I say y'all missed some wonderful conversation in just 5 minutes, we talked about texting and driving, hitting kids in school zones.
He talks about hitting kids in school zones.
Remember what you said earlier? This is our channel. We talked about hitting kids, speeding. We literally condone texting and driving. All this happened. Oopsies. That's my phone going off because we are finally live because somebody didn't hit go live. As I explained before, we will explain again because one of our co-hosts could not hit go live. Vivian, welcome. Anybody in, if you're seeing this, please get in the chat. Let us know what's up. Welcome to Dolphins Social. Name very much pending to change. If anybody listening in has a more creative name, if these collective two brain cells are able to come up with something funnier, better, sexier, cooler, whatever it may be, subject to change. If you have any other ideas, let us know down below. But we are going to be doing this every single Monday after a Dolphins game, even though yesterday Dolphins did not have a game. 2 weeks from now, we will be playing on Monday Night Football, so you will not have that then. Otherwise, every single Monday, give or take 6 o'clock, 6:15, whenever these two bozos can figure out how to hit go live, we will be here yapping Dolphins, yapping NFL, yapping whatever is going on our minds. Donovan, this is a long-winded intro for us. In fact, we're actually just a minute and a half into the stream, and I don't think they've actually heard from you yet, other than you trying to defend yourself.
I mean, because I was defending myself.
And it was your fault that this happened in the first place?
I mean, who got here at 5:54 when we were supposed to go live at 6?
You live here. I had to wait for you.
I told you I was gonna be home at 5:30.
No, you said
you texted me at 5:10. How long until you get home? And I said 20.
And from 20, what would that then be?
30.
And when did you actually get here?
5:34.
You literally just said 5:40, literally 0.5 seconds ago.
I said no, I did not.
Run back the tape.
Run back the tape.
We don't have that function yet.
Hearing things.
But y'all see in the title, Tua update, Tyler Huntley, he's a Dolphin. That was weird. Didn't see that one coming.
Did not. I was thinking between Tannehill, Beathard, maybe even Jimmy G.
All awful options.
All awful options. Tannehill not too awful.
All awful options. Continue.
If you guys are hearing echoes, I apologize for that. He's speaking very loudly. My mic's picking it up. So, not all of them are awful options. Tannehill, I believe, being the least awful of the bunch.
They're all awful options. Actually, I'd probably say Jimmy G is the least awful of the bunch.
Jimmy G has been the most successful.
And he's already had some success in this system.
Correct. But the thing is that there's a reason that he was, put out. On top of him being now injury-prone, injury-riddled for the last, 4 seasons of his career, he's not as accurate anymore. He doesn't care anymore. And then I feel like...
That's a wild accusation, saying he doesn't care.
Have you seen... There's been reports...
I've seen a lot of him. He looks sexy still.
I mean, yes, but that's not...
He still cares about something. He still cares about the ladies.
He cares about himself and he cares about the ladies. That's about it.
Me too.
I said that's about it. You care about more than that.
I care about a few things.
Exactly.
I care about a few things.
Like me.
No. The next words out of my mouth was literally about to be, but not you.
I know. Anyways, I forgot where I was going with that. Tannehill was the least awful of the bunch, being that it was really between Tannehill and Jimmy G. Tannehill you don't have to trade for. That was the plus of that, whereas Jimmy G you would have to trade for. And then on top of that, he had success in a run-first play-action offense, which is kind of what we do. Different type of run offense. We do more of a zone run. They were pounded at your face with...
Hey, yo! Crazy. Clip that, chat. 4.5 minutes into this, and we're already going down the sus lane. Lo-fi, Huntley on a practice squad. Didn't even expect that. Jimmy G washed, and I need to move that, but it's not going to move. And something knocked out too bad look. Look, anybody you're picking up at this point in the season isn't good. There's a reason they either aren't starters or there's a reason why they're not on a team in the first place. So literally, Flacco was just such a special situation where that Browns team is awesome except for quarterback. Offensive line, well, this year, offensive line maybe not as good, but offensive line, running game, defense, head coach. You had everything with that Cleveland Browns team last year that you could have I could have gone in there and, competed. All right. I maybe not winning. I maybe not getting into the playoffs like he did, but look, that team was that good that you just needed anybody but an absolute bonehead under center, and you could have won some games. And that's what happened last year with Joe Flacco.
And I say that's a very similar situation that Ryan Tannehill is in now. And in fact, he used Flacco as an example when he was in an interview with Diana Rossini and Chase Daniel, where he was like, he's looking for a situation like that where someone needs a starter for the rest of the season, where he feels that they could still be competitive for the playoffs, and he can go in and help them out. And he's had experiences with terrible offensive lines in Tennessee, in Miami, nothing but bad offensive lines. And so I feel like that would have helped him, given this is all hypothetical now because it looks like Tua is going to return at some point. But at that, Tannehill was probably the best option. He has dealt with the bad
all the options suck. All the options suck. Cap for life. Welcome back, baby.
Yo, what's good, Cap?
Haven't heard from you in a very long time. One of two people that I've met. We met Cap last year. Met Nate or Nick. I forget what the guy's name was. Crazy timing, right? I'm going into my section. I was at the game last week on Thursday with my mom.
Unfortunately.
Dude, we'll get into that very quickly here. Was going into my section, 148. And I'm walking in, and I walk past this guy, and we get past each other, and then 2 steps later, he's like, I hear from behind me, "Hey, do you do YouTube?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do YouTube." He's like, "Oh, hi again, Nate. Sorry, homie." Apparently, he's been in Breaking Bad, and he said Better Call Saul, which freaking legendary shows, which this bastard hasn't seen.
Okay, Better Call Saul, I'll give you. Breaking Bad, I have watched the majority of. I think I've watched everything but the last season and a half.
Oh my God, the last season and a half of Breaking Bad. Please, somebody in the chat. I hope I have somebody here to back me that have watched Breaking Bad. The last season and a half of Breaking Bad. Oh, good googly moogly. That last the finale. Name how many shows that are at the peak of the world actually end up having satisfactory finales?
Honestly, there's not many.
There's none. Game of Thrones, massive Game of Thrones fan, seasons 1 through 5. 6 and 7, those last couple seasons they said just completely just sent it off a cliff, right? Because, well, for one, the directors stopped caring about it, but also when you have something such high tippity-toppity, it's so hard to see it back come down to earth. I don't even know how we got in that conversation. Please, if you've watched Breaking Bad and you feel about it just like me, let me know down below. The twins from Breaking Bad, dude, those guys were freaking legendary. Those guys were terrifying. And they weren't as terrifying in Better Call Saul because everybody okay. So Better Call Saul was a what's the word before? It was set before the events of Breaking Bad. It was a prequel. There you go, of Breaking Bad, right? But they used every single same actor. So think about if you cast somebody for a role, and then they do the show, and then 10 years later, you have these same exact actors come back to play a role that's supposed to be a few years before the original show. So you're adding 13 years of age to people, but they're still really much intimidating. One of the most complete series ever. Thank you, guys. I have my support here in the chat. I don't even remember how we got onto that. But yes. Oh, because the guy, the extra that, I don't know if he's extra. I don't know if he was acting. My bad, bro. Met him. Super cool dude. If any of y'all ever see us, please feel free to say hi. But yeah, saw him there, and that was the first time I've ever left a game early. By choice. I've gone to games with my family when I was really little, where you don't have any say. You didn't drive. You're a little kid, especially on a Thursday night. Maybe you got school the next day, right? Whether it's the Panthers, the Heat, the Marlins, the Dolphins, any sporting event across sports, for lack of a better word. I've never chose to leave a game early. We left with 11 and a half minutes left to go in the game. And I was perfectly content with that decision.
So was it your mom that was like asked you if you wanted to go, or was it just like you asked her?
She said it as like kind of like half serious, half joking, like, hey, we could leave. And I'm like, yeah, let's leave.
And like not even 5 minutes before that, you texted me, if your mom says she wants to leave, you're leaving.
Oh, dude, I don't lie. I'm a man of my word, bro. I said if my mom asks something, we're leaving.
You know what is hilarious about the whole situation?
Huh?
Our Twitter. So we shared the Twitter.
Yeah, that was funny.
So I sent out a tweet, and I was like, I'm going to suffer for the rest of this game. And
30 seconds later,
I was like, please pray for me. And then 10 minutes later, you tweeted out, first time I'm ever leaving a game first in my life. And I'm like, these people think we're probably the same person.
Honestly, I think that adds to the experience. I think that'd be even funnier if like you're like, you know what, I'm doing it. This game is miserable. I hate being a Dolphins fan right now, just like I have been for the previous 24 years of my life. But you know what, I'm staying in this seat. And then 10 minutes later, you're like, gone. I'm like, the turnpike's a little backed up right now. Actually, that'd been hilarious if that was the very next tweet. Like, we're staying here. I'm staying in my seat. We're going to see this out. Next thing you know, it's a picture just of, like, the 3 lanes all blocked up. All you see is red lights when you got the guitar out there in the background.
Yeah, it was not fun. I was literally the last quarter, I was just sitting there like that Homelander meme, just like.
So why didn't you leave? Like, look, before I know I just asked you a question, but, like, I don't think it necessarily makes you a bad fan if you leave early, if it's warranted. If you're down by 1 score, right, and it's like, it's a competitive game, like, unless you absolutely have something to do coming up here, if you're just leaving early to beat traffic, even though we're down 7 points, 2 timeouts left with 2.5 minutes left to go, like, dude, just watch it out. Like, you've already watched this point, right? We're down by 3 scores. Tua's dead in the locker room. The rest of the team is dead. Teron Armstead just every now and then casually decides to walk back to the sideline because he has half a shoulder now all of a sudden. So just add another thing that you add shoestrings and glue to try to hold them together for. There's no reason to stay there and sit put through that game.
Honestly, it was more of like a mixture of principle as well as we knew we weren't getting out of there anytime soon with everybody flooding leaving the stadium.
Go on.
You left about 3 minutes before everybody just emptied their seats.
Maybe upstairs for you. For me, it literally, like I literally said to my mom when we got into the parking lot, I'm like, this looks like what it looks like when we just leave normally. And trust me, I understand lo-fi, always have a beer to finish. You'll never leave. First of all, they closed the beer sales after the 3rd quarter, so even if I wanted to drown my sorrows in some alcohol, not an option. There was alcohol outside the stadium at those maybe legal, maybe illegal pop-up tents. The Jews were going crazy. The Jews weren't going crazy anymore after that, and I'm not just literally saying the Jews. No, I literally mean there's a setup of Jews out there. They're partying. They're having a fantastic time out there.
Yeah, they were always having a good time out there. It's fun to see. Like you just see the beards, the
what were you about to call it? The yarmulkes?
The yarmulkes.
Were you about to call them the Hondas?
No. I
saw an H
coming.
coming.
Think of the name. It like blinked out for a sec.
There's two very distinct setups within like 30 feet of each other. There's the Jews partying, and then there's just another pop up where, again, maybe legally, maybe illegally, they start selling, or they're selling like tequila, vodka,
food and alcohol.
Food, like I said as we were walking, I'm like, tailgates have laws unto themselves, right? You can smoke weed out there. You could probably commit tax fraud out there. Like, as long as you don't kill somebody, you can set a car on fire and you probably will receive minimal repercussions.
Yeah, but
it's literally happened.
But basically, to answer, it was like a mixture of principle and the fact that we knew that because we're in the second to last row. Or third to last row.
You're up there.
We're up there.
And it's a good walk.
I could reach into like that window and touch Al Michaels.
You could have also just jumped off the other side. Is what I'm hearing.
Yes.
How high is that wall?
It's actually really high.
So like
I can. It's probably like 9.5 feet.
You can get on my shoulders or your dad's shoulders if his knees are good enough.
Probably not. But
probably not.
But yeah, moral of the story is I wasn't getting out of there anytime soon. So, kind of like principle of staying and, watching your team struggle. I mean, Cap pointed out that they all checked out with 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and you didn't really get to watch. They pulled they pulled the starters.
Both teams?
Both teams.
Well, I mean, we can't really pull the starters when Scottie Thompson.
No, I mean, so basically,
I get what you're saying.
Basically, we didn't have Tyreek, we didn't have Achane, we didn't have Waddle out there.
Yeah, my fantasy team reflects that.
Yeah.
Tyreek.
I have Tyreek, Waddle, Tua, and Achane starting in a lot of leagues.
85 points in our main redraft. 85.
Oh, because you have Tyreek. Hey, it could be worse. It could be Adam.
He beat me. What do you mean it could be worse? He literally beat me. He literally beat me.
You also had Kenneth Walker out, so like.
Yeah, don't remind me. And guess who else? Who else I have? Cooper Kupp. My whole team is dead. Great. Let us know how your fantasy teams are doing. We'll talk about Seattle coming up here very soon, but just to continue on this train that we're going. So I left. You stayed. The Homelander meme is exactly what I would say was the vibe of the stadium when Tua went down. Yeah, they went to the yeah. Of course, they should have gone to the bench. That was the right decision. There's no point in leaving those guys out there and getting hurt. Raphael, but it very much everybody was just stone faced. Everyone was already pissed because obviously I barely even talked about it. You broke down the film a little bit a couple of days ago. It was an absolute horrid performance before that, right? But then you compound that. I was already feeling that way. I was already feeling look, if I left, wouldn't be upset before the injury. Mm-hmm. And then the injury happens. Stadium just, everybody's just, oh no. Well, first
everybody got hyped for the first down, and then they saw Tua like this, and they're like, all right, that's.
Yeah. Well, actually, everybody in my section started calling him an idiot.
Well, he was an idiot.
Because it was his own fault.
Look, I do feel for him, but he is an idiot for that. He is.
Yeah, that was stupid.
And it's not even just his history with head injuries and concussions. It's the fact that you already had the first down, just go down. It kind of looked like he was maybe trying to lean. I watched it a few times. He was trying to lean forward and dive on his side. And DeMar Hamlin kind of came in. If Hamlin came in straight ahead, I don't think it would have been as bad. But the fact that he came in sideways, hit him in the side of the head, it was just the perfect hit.
My two favorite parts. Now, this is obviously crazy. My two favorite parts of the Tua injury. No. Hear me out.
I already know where you're going with this.
I don't know if you do. So my first favorite part is the obvious, the fact that it was DeMar Hamlin. It's just poetic justice is just poetic justice. It is what it is, right? My second favorite part, I don't even know if I brought this up to you, is, and if any of you guys are at the game, please confirm this, right? Because, this is what happened. Some people might have been out of the moment and just didn't really realize what was going on. But so injury happens. Again, stadium, silent as a crypt, right? Gets off the stadium, or he gets off the field. He walks into the locker room. People cheer, right? And then everyone just kind of settles in. The shock is simmering over everybody, right? But everybody's just quiet. The stadium is quiet. The Dolphins then proceed to play a Bud Light advertisement on the big board in the four corners, right? Right? It's drink a Bud Light, yeah. And then it's two people that are obviously either working for the Dolphins, working for Bud Light, whatever, with a Bud Light T-shirt on. It cuts to a guy holding a Bud Light,
yeah,
right? Complete wrong time. If I was Bud Light, I'd be pissed, right? The last thing I want when a guy just died on the field for the fourth or fifth time in his career is my company. Hey guys, I know you're all so pissed off right now, but guess what? My beer.
I kind of wonder if Amazon Prime went to Whopper, 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 Whopper.
I wish they did. Because they did that for DeMar, right?
They did do that for DeMar, bro.
And obviously, that's something that's preset beforehand, but dude.
Yeah, that was
dude. That's awful. Let's catch up a little bit here on the chat. Pickup Johnson from the Rams. Was it Tyler? Tony?
Tyler Johnson.
He didn't do anything.
Or Ty Johnson. I think it's just Ty Johnson. Or no, Ty Johnson.
No, it's Tyler.
It's Tyler because Ty is on the Buffalo.
former Buccaneer. He didn't do anything when he was on the Bucks. I know he's like technically the number one now, but so is DeMarcus Robinson, who's also done nothing. So is Tutu Atwell, who's also done nothing. So it's just pick your favorite of the guys who've done absolutely nothing on their careers. That's what you're left with in that Rams offense. How do you become a Dolphin injury prone or off the field disaster or just old? That's actually exactly what our team is. Everybody's beat up, old, or off the field for one reason or another. I said before the game, we need to see Tyreek Hill get arrested again. And guess what happened? He didn't get arrested. Guess what happened? We lost.
I don't like
coincidence. I think not.
I think the coincidence is that Jeff Darlington, who was there for the golfer that got arrested, was there for when Tyreek Hill got arrested, and was now here for when Tua gets a concussion.
Well, he's had multiple opportunities to be there when Tua gets a concussion. I've been there one of the times he got a concussion, even though we both were there one of the times he got a concussion, even though you still hold on to the fact you don't think he got a concussion. I'm talking about that Bills game. Damn, bro, you saw that lightning?
Yeah, that was pretty gnarly. We have some semi-breaking news from Adam Schefter. Not really Dolphins related, but...
Don't say Cooper Kupp. Don't say Cooper Kupp.
No, Debo.
Ooh.
Cash strain out a few weeks.
Let's go, Debo Samuel owners. High five. You got Debo?
No, I actually traded Debo.
Not that you got me.
I traded Debo for
I got a trade to withdraw. Hold, please. It may have just been a screenshot, so I don't know if it's an actual trade. Screenshot your trades in fantasy. Don't actually. And rest in piss to the guy that has Cooper Kupp and Amon-Ra St. Brown. God bless your heart. Amon-Ra is hurt and sucks, except for he sucked week one, was actually great yesterday. And they get hurt.
Turns out it's just a contusion and cramps for Amon-Ra.
Okay, no, we're good, guys. We're good. We only have one trade proposal that is for sure not getting accepted. That was Courtland Sutton for J.K. Dobbins.
Brother.
That was before the game.
Brother.
I could definitely understand somebody being like, oh, he had just one good game and then trade him for a wide receiver. And I don't remember, maybe he needed a receiver. But, yeah, that's for sure not happening
Well,
now.
It could be worse. I got an offer, and I was debating it because I have a really good wide receiver room of Garrett Wilson, Nico Collins, Rashee Rice, Brian Thomas Jr., and I got an offer for Brian Thomas Jr. for J.K. Dobbins, and I'm like, okay, my running backs right now are Bijan and Javonte, and I was like,
Javonte. Oh man, you convinced me he was gonna be good, you dick.
He still might be.
No, everybody in the Broncos sucks.
He's still the workhorse. That offense is just terrible. So anyways, I got an offer for J.K. Dobbins for Brian Thomas Jr. and I was mulling it over for a couple of days because I'm like, Brian Thomas Jr. looks like a breakout star, and I went to go click accept, and it wasn't there anymore. And when I I sent it back, and I'm like, hey, I just saw this. Of course I didn't, but and they're like, price has changed. They wanted Brian Thomas Jr. and Rashee Rice for J.K. Dobbins and some other scrub.
I tried to get Rashee Rice today from Marcelo.
And let me guess, what did he say?
Oh, he said no chance.
Yeah.
Well,
so tell me how this man traded for Xavier Worthy when he already has Rashee Rice. And
you can move either of them.
But he doesn't want to move either of them.
He'll figure out eventually, but he has Isaiah Pacheco. So he hit me up. He said, of my three running backs, which are Aaron Jones, Kenneth Walker, and Tony Pollard, my three best, he's like, of those three, who are you most likely to move? I'm like, I'm thin at running backs. I'm not particularly any of them, but like obviously I'd move Tony Pollard. And then he sent me Tajay Spears and Quentin Johnston for Pollard.
Shout out QJ.
Yeah.
Scored a tutty.
What big
difficult catch.
You know who else scored 2 touchdowns? Xavier Worthy the week before. I expect
absolutely. You know who also scored 2 touchdowns? Braylon Allen.
I actually have some belief in him because he's.
No, I love Braylon Allen, but the problem is that he's stuck behind Breece Hall.
He is, but he just got 2 touchdowns despite the fact that he's stuck behind Breece. I'm not starting him unless I'm in a massive dynasty
Kyle
league.
Pitts to score
No. Kyle Pitts is on my hit list right now. my bet list. So I need guys to do poorly, right? And I need one person tonight to do good. I need Saquon to just ball out for me, bro. You did it week 1. Do it again for me, please. Love you, smoochies. I need 3 people to damn themselves to hell. That is Devontae Smith. I literally need Devontae Smith to get 0 catches or 1 catch for like -9 yards is what I need from Devontae Smith.
AJ Brown is out, right?
I'm well aware of this fact. I need Kyle Pitts to die. I need Kirk Cousins to do awesome just so this kid is eliminated from our guillotine league, and that would be so awesome, especially with the trash you were talking this morning.
I didn't even talk any trash.
Oh, he's like, I'm making it. I'm making it. Who do you think you are, buddy? You're about to score 80 points max. No, you literally scored 80 points.
Hey, but guess who scored 175?
We need to do a fantasy football panel. We will scream at each other, all right? We are in... How many leagues are we in together? Counting the leagues the one league where we're doing the team together. How many leagues are we in together?
So, Dynasty leagues. We'll start with Dynasty leagues. We have the Bears pod that we're in together.
Yes.
Okay, we have
Midlife.
Dynasty,
yep.
Fantasy All-Stars.
Jay, we gotta do a better name than that. That was terrible.
Yeah, that was.
That just felt so gay.
No bueno. Yeah. It just feels homosexual to say.
I think that's it on the Dynasty end.
Okay, so we're in 2 guillotine leagues together.
2 guillotine. For now. Both of us for now, actually. You know, by the end of today, we might have no guillotine leagues together. There's a very realistic chance. Alvin Kamara, that prick. Actually, he didn't do anything to me. No, he didn't do anything to me.
He didn't do anything to you.
Keep it going. This is how many leagues we're in together.
So that's the guillotine leagues. We have the Cream Team Friends League.
Yes.
YouTube.
Yes. We are in 8 fantasy football leagues together, ladies and gentlemen. There's what 4 people in this chat, right? Combined, are you guys in 8 fantasy leagues? Let me know how many leagues you're in. I am in 9 total leagues. You're in 9,
12.
10, 12.
I went 8-4 week 1, baby. And I might go
12?
12. And
are you okay?
For the record, I'm counting guillotine leagues staying in as a win.
You're counting as you're still in the league? I know I just raped their eardrums.
And I'm going to be 10-2 this week.
Raphael's in 2. Okay, so right now we're on average.
He has as many leagues as I'm taking.
2 leagues, 2-0 in each league. Okay, so 4 leagues between 2 people so far. All right, I'm just trying to shoot for 8. My goodness, you addict! Gee, this guy was betting on preseason games. He was betting on preseason games.
I won in preseason games.
You have to be a special type of degenerate to bet on preseason games.
I just bet on. Okay, the Dolphins were underdogs at home.
It's preseason.
I understand. So I had a few, liquors in me, and I.
What'd you call me?
Liquor.
I'm not gonna let you defend yourself anymore. No, you're done.
And
I
put 100 on the Dolphins to win, and guess what? They freaking won. I'm not gonna apologize for winning money.
You could have spent that money on groceries, on what? For you, probably a month's worth of gas, because I know you drive a good bit.
A month worth of gas?
Oh, you have an SUV. My bad.
Bro, it's a $50 every time I fill up. If not 60.
We were talking about this earlier. I forgot how bad your gas mileage is. Elantra gang, we get like I sometimes get 40 miles a gallon. It is
100%. Thank you, Raphael. Thank you.
No. Betting on preseason is for degenerates. Okay, guys? And look, I'm okay with
I'm a degenerate.
I'm a degenerate football. I'm a degenerate fantasy football player, right? Well, clearly not as much as you, but like.
For tonight, Bijan.
No, we don't want Bijan to score, so no. Jalen Hurts.
Bijan needs to.
Saquon.
Jalen Hurts is not going to do it. Saquon's a good option.
I just said 4.
I do like Atlanta's.
Kirk Cousins?
Though. No.
Imagine. You gotta get like probably.
Bro, I'm taking the under on Kirk Cousins' rushing yards.
Dude, you need to take the over because you need him to do bad. That's the game.
I'm not actually betting on the game tonight, but like if I were to, it would be Bijan. Actually, you know what? I accidentally did bet on it this morning.
Nah, I mean Saquon's
it wasn't
obvious.
really an accident, but I did Saquon and Bijan anytime touchdown promo on Hard Rock app.
We need Kyle Pitts to do bad, Raphael. I think you're the one that said we need him to do good. We need him to do good. We need him to do awful.
Honestly, I don't have any Kyle Pitts going against or anything
going for
or going against Kyle Pitts. So, he's fine. He could do whatever. Bijan needs to outscore Kirk Cousins by at least 1 point, preferably more than that. And Kirk Cousins needs to get less than 17 points.
Actually, I can tell you guys the exact amount that Kirk Cousins can't. Oh, just kidding. I did some other math since then. It was like 16 or 17.35, I want to say. Again, Guillotine League, dude yesterday, or you had CJ Stroud yesterday. For simply put, Guillotine League, those of you that don't know, basically the team who gets the lowest score each particular week, cut from the league, go on. Cut from the league, cut from the group chat, you're gone. Their players get put back into the pool, right? So this week, he is at the bottom, potentially. Or no, he's for sure at the bottom. We know that for a fact because he's done, and there's only one guy right now that's less points than him. And he had CJ yesterday, Kirk Cousins today, like 17 points. I think like 17.6, actually. If Pitts gets 3 receptions, 26 yards, one tutty for a fantasy dub, score 130 to 137. I need the points. Sorry, my amigo. No.
Wait,
I need to pull up.
3 catches for 26 yards. That's
Rodolfo. Damn, bro. Welcome back, homie.
Yo, what's up?
We got some names that I remember in here. Holy crap. Welcome back to the party, boys. Welcome to what I call Dolphins Social. We have a name now and a new location that because this actually didn't pick up because this bumhead can't freaking go live properly. So we were just talking to nothing for 7 straight minutes. But the last time we streamed in this room, we did a pre-game stream for when we played the Kansas City Chiefs, and he said that he didn't really fear the Kansas City Chiefs. And in a power rankings of the playoffs, had us above the Chiefs, even though they're playing in Arrowhead and even though they're the Chiefs. Continue.
I wasn't even talking.
Kyle. So okay, right now the league that I need to do, I need Kyle Pitts to die in. It's currently 79.5 to 63.8. So that's Jacob Kelly math. That is 15.8. Dude has Kyle Pitts. I have Saquon Barkley. I need Saquon to do what he did last week, and I need Kyle Pitts to do what he did last week minus the touchdown.
I basically need, let's see. My closest ones, I think, are just...
Jeez, look at my posture. Look how bad that is.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. I have Bijan. I'm down by 1.11 points. I have Bijan. He has Kirk. I'm projected to win. I'm currently losing by 1 point in this league, but they are done, and I have Bijan. So I should win
12
there.
fantasy leagues, just a reminder, his thumb is getting tired from scrolling on Sleeper right now. I'm looking over. Well, I was looking over at
I'm going against Bijan in this league.
Yes. That's the issue.
But I have Saquon.
That's the issue. What happens when you play in 12 fantasy leagues? You're playing with everybody and you're playing against everybody.
This is true. However, I am currently up by 11 in that league, and I have Saquon. He has Bijan. So... Oh, he has Bijan and Darnell Mooney. Ooh.
So I can actually give you guys an exact amount in which I need
every other league I've won.
Kyle Pitts to not get. Where is this dude? Oh, right here. DJB83. What a weird name. Oh, wait. He's Kirk. Wait, who? What the frick? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, there's multiple guys.
In this league. In this league, I started Tua over. I'm in the same fantasy as Cap for life. I can only verify 1 2-0 team. I've had very close matchups. Our fantasy has 14 people.
Ooh, 14 people
is tough.
So we did. So our guillotine league, again, the one least amount of points. Highly would recommend, guys, y'all playing fantasy football next year. Do a guillotine league. I'm going to, again, try to briefly explain it. I know I explained it earlier. Just look up a YouTube video on it. Least amount of points each week gets cut into the last 2 people. Ours is a little bit of a fun twist because we had. ideally you get 18 people.
Mm-hmm.
So the championship is just straight up week 17, no funny business, right? But our friends are hoes basically, and a lot of them didn't join. So basically we had to do 14 people. I wanted to get to a week 15 playoff. So what we did was we had 2 separate wheels. One wheel would be if a person is eliminated one time in the season, there will be an opportunity for somebody to come back once eliminated. Actually, conversation I'm going to have with you in just a second. And then there's a second wheel for there being 2 weeks. So basically, one matchup equals 2 weeks. So basically, what was I even talking about? I got so thrown off by like the idea I just had to talk to you about that I completely lost track of what we were talking about.
So you wanted to get to week 15, so you had those 2 wheels.
Yes, but I still have no idea what the wheels are going on that.
So basically, every week you have. Oh, was
I just explaining the Guillotine League?
Yes.
Oh yeah, basically every week that happens. Ideally, you get 18 people, but being a 14 to 18 in the Guillotine League, dude. I mean, we are in an 18.
We are in an 18. It's a big difference,
dude.
It is.
I'm starting Andre Oshivas.
The points difference alone.
I have 63 points. My highest scorer is Gardner Minshew. My last pick. Anthony Richardson. Anthony, I'm not going to say I hate Anthony Richardson because that would be an absolute falsehood. I love Anthony Richardson. Hopefully, some of you guys may know, some of you guys may not know. There's multiple Syndicate channels. We have Pittsburgh Steelers, we have Denver Broncos, we have Detroit Lions, but we also have Indianapolis Colts. So hopefully we can do some talking with him and maybe do a little bit of a joint stream at some point. That'd be cool if we try.
Yeah, that'd be really cool
to get that out. But I actually love Anthony Richardson. Gators fan here, but he's also just such a fun dude to watch. Like that throw last week, that is the single greatest throw. I don't care. That is the greatest throw in NFL history. Just in terms of talent and difficulty, I don't care about the moment. I don't care about the extenuating circumstances. Just in terms of the ability to have a ball in your hand, float 65 yards over the field, while you're bumbling, stumbling, mumbling backwards, you have a massive dude in your face trying to murder you, and you got to say to a not really good wide receiver that is all the way down the field, blanketed by 2 dudes, but he just got enough space beyond them to just go and just make that catch there, right? I love you, Anthony Richardson. 7.86 points. Excusez-moi?
Yeah, that was rough.
In a guillotine league?
Raphael, that's just how fantasy goes, bro. Week 1, I was up 118 to 105, and Buddy, all he had was CMC left. And he was talking all kinds of smack. And I'm like, hey, look, Jets got a decent run defense. CMC's hurt. He's questionable to play. If he does play, he's probably going to be limited. He ended up not playing. He had absolutely nobody. By the way, if you're in fantasy.
Yeah, thanks for bragging, Raphael. Thank you. You have a stacked team? I don't. Proceed.
You have 8 teams. Yeah, I'm sure one of them is stacked.
One of them is absolutely stacked. my dynasty team.
2 of your dynasty teams, actually.
Really?
Midlife and Cream.
Midlife's not stacked. I have Cooper Kupp and Marquise Brown. And also my quarterback situation: Caleb, Matthew Stafford, and Kirk Cousins. Just absolutely.
Oh yeah, Stafford's also hurt.
Absolutely nothing. Well, Stafford's not hurt, but he has no wide receiver.
No, he's also hurt.
Is he? Great. Yeah. Fan freaking tastic. No, but my other dynasty.
Yeah, but yeah. So CMC didn't play. Oh, where I was going with that: if you're playing fantasy football and you have flex spots, put your people that are playing later in the flex spots. I understand principle of you want your top picks to be in the top spots, blah blah blah. I don't care. People could have avoided CMC being out if they just. I've heard of people losing by 2 points because CMC was out when all they needed to do was literally just put him in their flex spot, put him on IR after he got put out, and then Kyle Juszczyk would have literally given you enough points to go in when.
Are you saying all this just to say that you didn't do that?
No, I'm saying people like Adam didn't. Tyrell somehow got away with winning that
risky.
Dude, there was one guy in the other one. He had CMC out and someone else out. I think it was Russell Wilson, and he made it through.
Last week, we had a guy that had Christian McCaffrey. Again, Guillotine League, lowest amount of points, you're out, right? He had 105 points. The people behind him were projected to... He had 102 points, actually. People behind him were projected to finish at like 105 points. So he was actually projected to lose with CMC still in his lineup. Decides not to cut him, and he ends up staying in the league by 0.4 points because George Kittle got a 2-yard reception instead of a 6-yard reception that would have tied it up. 7-yard reception would have won it for Craig. I mentioned earlier how once a year somebody will randomly come back into the league because there is a separate wheel, 13 no's, 1 yes, and when that yes is hit, a separate wheel of players' names who have been already eliminated from the league, they are on that wheel, and that wheel will then be spun, and whoever it lands on comes back into the league, has no players, they just got to figure it out, and lo and behold, week 1, 13 no's, 1 yes, and yes hits.
Yeah, that was wild, bro. That was just like, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, and then not only that, it's like, you have to think, week 1 has to be the hardest week to come back from because your team is already cut. So now you have to pick up basically your team again off of waivers while everybody else is bidding using their fab to get your players. And he ends up with just like a cluster of bad team or bad players, and somehow scores 126 this week, and he's safe.
Yeah, fantasy football is so much filled with luck. Lo-fi anime. You guys picking up Skylar Thompson on your fantasy teams, right?
I am.
No.
If I have Tua and there's no
It depends on the settings of the league, and it depends on how deep your league. If you have a deep league, like yes, 100%, I'd take a punt on Skylar Thompson, right? But if you have a pretty traditional 1 QB, 2 running back, 2 receivers, tight end flex, if you're in, think about who, like most people are in very regular, PPR, regular setup, defenses and kickers, non-dynasty. Like we are addicts, right? We are degenerates in the fantasy football world. Like all I watch on YouTube is fantasy football content, and everything else is second. Like BDGE. I don't know if any of you guys watch. If you don't, free shameless plug. Hire me, please, smoochies.
You have to apply to get hired.
I did this time because they had a remote option. They had a editing, even though I don't really know how to edit. Those of you who watch our videos know.
That's probably why you didn't get hired.
Well, they don't know that. Anyways, I forgot again what I was saying. Oh, fantasy football. Skylar Thompson. Look, if you have somebody to be willing to cut for Skylar Thompson, and if you have Tyreek Hill, if you have Jalen Waddle, like, look, if you have the space and it makes sense with your roster, yes, but I don't believe that much in Skylar Thompson to run this offense and get the stats that Tua would. Like, yes, he has the ability to run. He has that athleticism. But the only thing that I actually planned on talking about here somewhat, and obviously we've gone completely off track, and I'm completely fine with where the conversation has gone because it's been pretty fun, is the fact that our backup quarterback and now our third quarterback have no ability really to run the offense that Mike McDaniel wants to run. It's an offense that's so specific and needs such a specific type of quarterback. And, if you have a really good quarterback, like if you have Josh Allen, you can still make it work. Like if you have, take your pick of like top 10 guy, you can still make it work, right? But like once you get past that, it takes a specific type of quarterback to be able to run a timing offense with the guys that are so fast that you have to get in certain spots to utilize their speed, right? Skylar Thompson and now Tyler Huntley don't do that. They that's not their games. They're very much athletic. They'll try to make a play with themselves rather than see the play out. And it's just very peculiar that that's the route we've gone with our backup guys instead of somebody that actually fits the system. So, like, long-winded answer, I'm not picking up Skylar Thompson for my fantasy team.
I feel like if you're in a deep league or like a super flex or 2 QB league, it is worth taking a punt on.
Yes,
because,
absolutely.
Once again, you do have those weapons still. And shout out to Benchmark Brand once again, same plug. But
hire me, even though you don't hire people. I don't know.
He's solo, but basically he said you have to try to fail with these weapons. And to an extent, that's true. Like, you can almost plug in any quarterback into this team, and they're going to have some type of success. That's just how good the team is around, besides the offensive line. And the offensive line, they're still decent at run blocking with their zone run scheme, but pass blocking, not so much. So you need someone back there that can kind of improvise and avoid pressure. So Skylar can do that. Tyler Huntley can do that. Maybe not complete the passes afterwards, but they can at least evade the pressure.
As somebody who has Tyreek Hill with either Skylar Thompson or Tyler Huntley, and also let me say this now, I think it's kind of all talk. I think Tyler Huntley will end up, depending on how long Tua is out for. If Tua goes on the IR, I think we will see Tyler Huntley start a game. If Tua does not go on the IR, I think they just roll it with Skylar Thompson for as long as they need to, just because it's easier. But because of how bad the offensive line is, especially with how bad the interior of the offensive line is, for them to sustain good passing drives, I actually would rather, I say actually, but this is kind of more conventional wisdom, that I'd rather have the outside be good and the inside be bad. Or actually the other way, I'd rather have the outside be good and the inside be good, outside be bad, because that actually would then let them sit in the pocket. But when you have people directly near your line of vision, these guys are taking off immediately. Both Skylar and Tyler Huntley, right? They still might look somewhat to make a pass afterwards, but once you've evaded the pocket and you're not Mahomes, you're not CJ Stroud last night, like you're not a top quarterback in the league, once you evade the pocket, you have to make a decision immediately. Am I running or am I throwing this ball? There is no, okay, wait and see, let the play. Okay, then make the decision. Like, no, you have to make up your mind. So I think Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle now are so much worse off than with Tua. I know it's obvious going from a backup in general, but like as a Tyreek Hill owner and as a Jalen Waddle owner, like I am pretty annoyed about Tua not being there anymore.
I mean, I agree to a certain extent. Once again, I think I still rather have Skylar starting at this point in time. I'm not saying because he's the better quarterback. It's because he knows the system better.
For sure, yeah.
Like, he's been, and he said this himself, and Mike McDaniel reiterated, he's been in the system for 3 years now. There's a reason that he beat out Mike White. Like, and Mike White, meanwhile, he's not good, but, like, you know, he was serviceable, and we could have signed him, but instead we signed Tyler Huntley. Like, he just wasn't picking up the offense, whereas Skylar was. And let's not forget, this defense is not bad. We gave up 34 points to the Bills, or 31 points to the Bills. 24 of that was off turnovers.
I don't know if I have the heart to break down or even argue what happened on Thursday. So
No. Like, legit.
I have some disagreements, but I'm not even necessarily sure whether I want to take myself emotionally into that pit.
I understand, but I'll run through it really quickly. Their first touchdown was off of an interception that was bounced off Grant DuBose.
We were having such a fun time before just talking about fantasy. Like, I was so happy forgetting about the Miami Dolphins for a moment. And here we are.
I understand. But we
happy.
Obviously had to get back to this.
Guys, would you have been okay if we didn't? I would have been okay. Don't say we.
I'm saying how, like, we still have hope because the defense played well. So, they got their first touchdown off of the interception, off of Grant DuBose's drop. And they took a while, actually. I think it was like 10 plays or plus to get down the field. And they struggled to really get down the field. Then they had that lucky fourth down. Not really lucky, but...
You mean where James Cook was wide open?
Broken play on a fourth down play that led to that touchdown. And then you also had Robbie Chosen ran the wrong route, interception. That led to another touchdown. Then you had the turnover on downs that led to the James Cook touchdown. And then pick six. Oh, sorry. The second interception was actually a field goal because they didn't get any first downs off of that. But then turnover on downs at midfield, James Cook touchdown, and then pick six. That's 24 of their 31 points came from turnovers. Because I do count the turnover on downs at midfield as a turnover. You're giving them great field position. And overall, The defense had a great second half against the Jags. First half was a little bit rough, but they came together, they pulled together, and they had a great second half. Didn't allow a point in the second half. And meanwhile, I'm not saying they were great against the Bills, but they were definitely put in tough situations, and they dealt with what they had in front of them.
It's a little fun note that I'm realizing, like seeing somebody's comment about Bryce Young and Andy Dalton. So we're playing the Seahawks this week, and I went to a Seahawks game last year, and I saw the Carolina Panthers play the Seattle Seahawks.
And you saw Andy Dalton.
And I saw Andy Dalton. Thank you for stepping on the finale of everything I just said. Appreciate you for that. I saw Andy Dalton play the best game the Panthers had just about all season. And I'm including the fact that they won a game last season. Like, they scored 20. They made it a legitimate game with Andy Dalton. I'd sign Andy Dalton before Skyler. Raphael, 1,000,000% agree with you. Who the hell drafted Bryce Young? I got a notification that he's been benched. Yes, he has been benched for Andy Dalton. It's real. And, look, certainly there's two very, very true truths. Two things that you absolutely cannot deny about the situation. The Panthers owner is an extremely impatient man. He clearly wants to win now, and is willing to go to extreme measures to do so, even if it is at the detriment of the team. That is true that he is being extreme right now, because this is not a decision from the coach. There's zero chances of a decision from Dave Canales. This is 100% pressure down from the owner. It can be just as true that the Panthers have an impatient owner that is, like a Jerry Jones light, except Jerry Jones has some gravitas and get away with some things. That can be true. And it can also be true that the Panthers are better with Andy Dalton as quarterback. Both things are true.
Both things are true. And I would honestly, I would agree with our buddy Jay when he says that he's probably worse than Jerry Jones as far as controlling. Because at least Jerry Jones knows ball.
Adequately.
Like, he's his own GM. And let's face it, he's had some really damn good draft picks. And, meanwhile, he is stubborn at times to giving out these contracts. He eventually does. He does eventually make CeeDee Lamb the second highest paid wide receiver. He does make Dak Prescott the highest paid quarterback. And, he does right. Like, even when Zeke held out a couple years ago, he ended up paying him probably more than he deserved. Actually, definitely more than he deserves.
Yeah, that's what kind of part of what screwed over running backs as a whole right now.
Yes, him and Todd Gurley. But that being said, that owner is just terrible.
Horrible.
It's just absolutely.
Shout out Robert Hunt. I bet he's having fun right now.
He's getting 100 mils. He's having fun.
Dude, I mean, look.
He signed for, what, 20 mil a year or something?
Oh, no, he's making a bag. I don't know how much of y'all listen to the 4th and 1 podcast with Cam Newton, but they showed a video of LaMelo Ball on the top of his condo in downtown Charlotte. Somebody recording from above him from a higher condo, and he was on a go-kart, just doing donuts around. Have you not seen this? No. Yeah, he's literally just he's on the roof of his probably 50-story condo building, probably bigger than that. What's 50? That's like 500 feet. It's probably even bigger than 500 feet. On the top, just Mario Kart, just like around the roof. Hunt? No, LaMelo Ball.
I think you said LaMelo Ball was on the condo, and then someone was higher than him.
No, what? Why is it? Somebody happens to be Robert Hunt.
You're saying that. Well, because you started with Robert Hunt.
Yeah,
and then you said LaMelo Ball was at the top of his condo.
We're getting
and
there.
Then recording down below him and then you said someone was on
top
I
said
of
Cam,
him even higher than
first
him.
Of all,
that is exactly what you said, word for word.
First of all, I said the Cam Newton podcast, but this was after we talked about their offensive lineman, Mr. Robert Hunt. But what I was getting with that is that's what LaMelo Ball is doing, right? And that's where Cam Newton used to live. And Cam Newton was talking about. He was talking about spending money on a place that you live in the city that you play. He's like, if you're going to do that, it better be somewhere you want to be living. Like in Charlotte, he's like, maybe I got a $2 million place, but where I want to live, I got a $20 million place, right? So basically, like in Charlotte, like there's nothing worthy of spending your money on. So this is what they're left to do. buy a go-kart and drive it around just the flat roof of your condo complex because that is the best thing you can do. So basically, Rob Hunt's got a lot of money right now that he just isn't doing anything with probably. So he's actually just suffering with
Hunt
losing.
Is a little bit of a country boy. So.
He is, but Charlotte, that's not the country.
Yeah, I know. But to go with what Vivian said, Young needs to sit and learn while they fix the offense.
No,
not particularly because he is what's wrong with the offense.
Yes, partially.
Partially.
He's given like the worst tools in the league.
Chase Daniel kind of broke it down a little bit. If you follow Chase Daniel on Twitter, he broke down around 18 minutes of film. I didn't watch all of it, but the gist of it is that his footwork is terrible. He's impatient with his reads, and he's kind of just forcing the ball in there, and he's not going through his reads properly. And he shows like the pre-snap, and it's like, okay, you know where where the ball is gonna go, and you know where you need to look off the safety. Like there's certain plays where you need to see where the safety goes, and if the safety goes to one side, you throw it to the other, obviously. And he just wasn't doing that. He was looking to the right, safety just happened to come down, then he threw it to the left, and then it was still a really tight incompletion, but.
There's everything you're saying is valid. Everything that you pointed out that Chase Daniel pointed out is valid, right? He needs to be given the opportunity to make these mistakes. It's not going to get any better with the situation he's currently dealt because, dude, his running backs suck. Chuba Hubbard, Miles Sanders is one of the worst running back duos in the league, behind one of the worst offensive lines in the league, with one of the worst quarterbacks in the league, with one of the worst wide receiver cores in the league. Like, Deontay Johnson is like an upgraded version of Devontae Parker. He doesn't really get open. He's not as tall as Devontae Parker is, but there's no separation with Deontay Johnson. What about I said is incorrect?
Separation. That's completely opposite. He actually gets separation, whereas Devontae Parker did not.
Obviously, Devontae Parker is the worst.
Deontay Johnson was one of the route gurus with his time in the Steelers. Like, he was able to get open, and he just had no hands.
He had no hands, but I also don't think he gets open that well.
Open. He was
I don't know if I necessarily
open.
agree with that.
He was a route technician, one of the route gurus of the league.
Regardless, like that's his one, right? Or 34-year-old Adam Thielen, or 23-year-old Xavier Legette, who didn't even get on the field for a single snap yesterday, or Jonathan Mingo, who is awful. Or name whoever else is in their wide receiver, on their wide receiver depth chart. Like, yeah, no, he didn't play. He did not play a snap yesterday. Go on Sleeper and look up Xavier Leggett. There's a zero.
I swore I saw
zero snaps run yesterday, and that's your first. Is that a first or is that a second? They traded up. They traded up into the first for him. I think it was a trade up.
Yeah, they did.
And he's not playing. Like, I understand some rookies are really letting down right now, but he's not even getting on the field amongst a bad team. So, like, there's just so much going wrong with the Panthers. And look, if you wanted to look at it from the perspective of Bryce Young needs to sit on the grounds of he might die if he continues to play out there, or he might want to die because that kid looks.
He played 42% of snaps.
I heard someone say that he played 0.
42%. He had 0 targets, 0 catches.
Whatever, still did absolutely nothing. He had what was that dude that used to play for the Heat? That Joel Anthony, the 0-0-0-0 stat line. Dude ran a whole bunch of cardio. Yeah, that's what he did yesterday. If on the basis you want to say like Bryce Young so he doesn't die, also so he just doesn't lose all of his confidence because that is a defeated man right now. And look, same situation that I say with too is like, look, little athletes compared to big athletes always win when it comes down to it, especially at the quarterback position. Little man versus massive men, like that is a recipe to die. And behind a very bad offensive line, Bryce Young he's not developing within this system. Like, he is not getting better by being on the field right now. So if your argument wants to be like, look, there is nothing. We are getting literally nothing. He's getting nothing by playing right now. We're going to protect him from us. Okay. But if the reason you're doing so is because you're just trying to win games, well, that's also not the right mentality because Why are you trying to win games? What is winning games going to do you if you're the Carolina Panthers right now?
It's really not. And that's why it's frustrating to see that happen with Bryce Young, because he is in the developmental part of his career. You brought in Dave Canales because he is a quote-unquote QB guru, which, by the way, everyone is a freaking QB
He was
guru.
the OC. He was OC on the Buccaneers, right?
OC on the Buccaneers.
And the Buccaneers look absolutely fine.
And he was a QB coach on Seattle.
Dude, Baker Mayfield's a stud right now. Like, I think they're doing perfectly fine without him being there as the guru.
Yeah. And, Tom Bowles being a good head coach is kind of weird. But maybe it's just the Jets.
Typically, that is when there are multiple dots to be connected. Usually, they all eventually connect back to the Jets or the Jets. Sam Darnold,
bro, I've been saying that Sam Darnold just needed a good team.
Sam Darnold, Sammy Slings,
because
2-0.
Look at the Panthers, bro. They had both Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield. Both of them had their moments with Carolina. Both of them played like less than 5 games each with them, and then boom, shipped them off. Sam Darnold goes to be the backup for the 49ers, and they took a chance on him. Now he's a starter for the Minnesota Vikings. Baker Mayfield leaves Carolina, goes to be a backup for the Rams, does good, gets a starting gig with Tampa Bay.
If there's dots to be connected, there are dots to be connected. If you are a Panther, if you are Jets, you will probably always do better somewhere else. And also, there's a very good point to point out with Sam Darnold is the fact that he is 27 years old. He is younger than likes of Patrick Mahomes, younger than Josh Allen, I believe younger than Lamar Jackson. Dude came in before those guys, actually came in at the same time as Josh Allen, and actually came in the same time as Lamar Jackson. But still, regardless, is younger than those guys. Played from the beginning, was very young coming in as a third-year player out of USC, was one of the youngest players in the NFL, if not the youngest player in the NFL when he came in, and sucked, was on the Jets. He's just 27 years old right now. That's what, a year older than Tua?
Yeah, a year older than Tua.
Damn, bro, that landing's going crazy. Sam Darnold has so many things going on.
Goes on IR.
Nah,
so they still haven't announced the corresponding move for
Bro, what are they doing? Are they just juggling keys? Sorry.
Please don't. They're gonna think I have a dog in here. Anyways, they still haven't announced the corresponding move to signing Tyler Huntley. I'm answering your question.
Ask it one more time, and then I'll answer.
Jeez.
Send a super chat, then I'll answer. I don't even know if y'all can do that. Do we even have that set up?
I don't think so.
Give us money.
Actually, yeah, we do right here.
Should we super chat ourselves?
Super chat ourselves?
Well, because then Grid's going to take, some of that anyway, so
it
ain't even work. We would just lose money to super chat ourselves.
Jesus.
Send us money.
If you want to.
Tua's probably not going on IR.
Basically, yeah, Tua's not going on IR.
Trying to find out more information, but means
Tua's still meeting with outside neurologists. The Dolphins are actually pushing him to meet with outside neurologists.
As he should.
Yes, as they should. And so he's not looking to go on IR just yet. And with that being said, the fact that he hasn't been on IR yet and they have signed Tyler Huntley, someone else is being released or someone else is going on IR.
We got some dudes we can release.
That corresponding move has not been announced just yet. And I've been kind of speculating. I'm they said Rob Jones, his shoulder is not that serious. Maybe he misses this game. Maybe he doesn't.
I think I know who it is going to be. The guy who lives on IR. The guy that could be one of the best offensive linemen in football if he wasn't broken.
So he actually that injury was said to be the least worrisome of all the ones that
our quarterback died, Donovan. You don't have a large bar to be the least bad injury when you have death as the number one thing that happened. He died to a died guy. If someone they will cut.
So there.
There's guys. Who?
Grandibos.
Oh. Be gone, bozo.
Then again, we would also only have 4 receivers on the roster at that point.
Well, Eric Ezukanma has been brought up each game, right? Eric Ezukama sucks.
Eric Ezukama, no, this is like the mind. I didn't go into it in a video because I didn't want to go on a 10-minute rant about this. But I'll go on a little 2-minute rant because I have someone here to stop me.
I will stop you too.
Eric Ezukama, there is literally, it's mind-boggling why they chose to bring in Robbie freaking Anderson, chosen, whatever the frick you want to call him. Why you bring him up while he spent the entire offseason with the 49ers, basically. You bring him up instead of Eric Ezukama. You have Grant Dubose active over Eric Ezukama, who has at least been here all summer and not spent 2 weeks in a complicated system. And
no, continue. I'm playing rock paper scissors with them. I'm not disrespecting you. Just keep going. We're gonna play rock paper scissors in the meantime. I wasn't even trying to be disrespectful. It was just like, they can listen and play rock paper scissors at the same time. Continue. I'm not trying to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Screw you. So it's mind-boggling. I'm gonna break your.
Hey, that's my bad thumb. I'm
gonna break your.
Because it was up your ass last night.
Yeah, it was.
No composure is what I just heard. You're completely gone from what you're at. Completely gone.
Freaking rock paper scissors over here. I said 2 minutes. You didn't even give me one.
I wasn't trying to cut you off. I was just trying to play rock paper scissors with them.
That is cutting me off.
I literally went back here so you weren't distracted, but obviously you were. I can't do anything about that.
Vision.
You're also looking at us, so you would have seen it no matter what.
So, anyways, he should have been brought up. He should have been running those routes. He definitely would have cut the ball that Grant Dubose dropped. He definitely would have ran the right route that Robbie did not run the right route on. And so those two interceptions there flipped the entire script. Is a Skylar call-up, not to a wide receiver. He's an anyone wide receiver. If you watched, I take preseason with a grain of salt. I do. But he was the only receiver doing anything in those last two preseason games. Craycraft came in for that one series, got hurt. Eric Ezukama was quite literally the only player doing absolutely anything worth of a damn in those two games.
I take preseason with a grain of salt and gives you every reason to take it with a grain of many salts.
When I say I take it with a grain of salt, I'm not saying Eazy-E is great. But when you have all your other backups in there, and he outshines them that much, and you're not going to give him an opportunity to do that in an actual game?
B. Sanders, that's Braylon Sanders. Who's the actual?
He got hurt. I think he's on the practice squad.
Who is the good B. Sanders as a wide receiver in the early 2000s? That BDG Sherby. So they're both Braylon Sanders.
Yes.
Related?
No.
Really?
I believe it's Braylon Sanders.
Braylon Sanders. I could probably count on my hand the amount of Braylons I've ever heard of. 1, 2, 3. Braylon Allen now. That's it. 3 Braylons. Only the little guys can run routes. I mean, little guys that are wide playing. Our whole team is little. Little quarterback, little starting running back, little wide receivers.
You're probably thinking Braylon Edwards.
Braylon Edwards. There you go. Well, you said Sanders, and you said it was the same, so you lied. Ho.
Oh, I was thinking Edwards as well.
I hope y'all heard that. If you did, rate that burp for me. So what happens if Sky comes and does pretty boy? What happens if Sky comes back and does better than Tua, or Huntley comes in as dual threat and does better than Tua? Now Huntley, there is the outside chance, but just on the basis of we haven't seen him actually play in this offense before, and technically speaking, he was a Pro Bowler in the most Wish.com Pro or AFC Pro Bowl selections at quarterback, because they just had who wasn't dead and who would say yes, which was literally down to the point of him. I love the Ravens, right? After the Dolphins, I'm a big supporter of the Ravens. I don't care admitting that. I like multiple teams across many sports. Some of you guys have been watching for a while. Rafael, you might know that. A few of y'all probably heard me say something like that before, right? I've seen him play for the Ravens. He was fine. Very questionable quarterback sneak on the 1.5 yard line against the Bengals, and you might have upset the Bengals in the first round of the playoffs. and that was when they went to the Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken. So you just disrupt NFL history right there, but almost you're like feet away because, again, that was just a mind-boggling QB sneak where he puts his hand over.
They actually did not go to the Super Bowl that year. Bengals did not go to the Super Bowl that year. That was when they lost in the AFC Championship game. But
are you sure about that?
Yeah, because that was Tua's concussion year.
Which one? That was the Super Bowl year for them.
No, it wasn't.
They went to the Super Bowl.
They went to the Super
3 seasons ago now.
They went to the Super Bowl in Burrow's second season.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
In the third season, they went to the AFC Championship game. Third season was Mike McDaniel's first, which was the concussion year.
Basically, all that yapping and say there's no chance that Skyler comes in and does better than Tua. Tyler Huntley, he's all right, but this system is just not set up for him. So I don't think there is any chance that Skylar Thompson or Huntley. I think the only realistic way that either of those guys are the starter beyond a month or so is if Tua retires, because I don't have any confidence in them to run the offense anywhere near as efficiently as them.
If Tua retires, I am like 99% sure that, or if he's out for the season, either one of those, Tannehill comes in. 99%.
I think they've already made a decision.
It's like because Tannehill. Now, given I don't know if they called him or not, but Tannehill's waiting for the opportunity to start the entire rest of the season. He's not waiting to be like, oh, I'll be your 4-week replacement. He wants to finish the season on a team that has a chance to make the playoffs, and good weapons around him. Yada yada. He wants a Flacco thing like Flacco did last year. That's exactly what he wants. That perfect situation. Which might not happen. It doesn't happen every year.
Probably not. He was crossing his fingers that Jordan Love's knee just went a little bit more to the left.
Basically. Where were we, though? Skyler Huntley.
Hey, Raphael, don't you even bring up Preston Williams' name. I hate that man. He could have been so good.
He could have been. That's the first time I've ever heard you say that.
No. I hate on him, but I acknowledge that he could have been really good. Could have been. I'm not saying he was really good, which you sometimes go as far as to say. I'm because that rookie season, look, that's an impressive rookie season to have. Now, if you did that year, 5, 6, 7 year career, that's not an impressive season. But as a rookie season from an undrafted free agent, I'll take that. But he wasn't good, but he could have been good.
I would say at his peak, he was like a top 30 receiver. At his peak.
Top 30 fantasy receiver. I don't think top 30 actual receiver. Because on that Dolphins team, he got a lot of meaningful snaps, as in legitimate runs with the ones. He was at times the two. And that year in particular, Devontae Parker, I'm pretty sure got hurt. So it was him and Jakeem Grant for a minute where they got a good chunk of run together, or maybe if it wasn't Jakeem Grant, whoever the other bums on the team were back then, right?
Albert Wilson.
Yes, pedestrians. Brandon Marks, pedestrians, absolute nobodies. So Preston Williams could have been good. Yeah, he is very. Except Skylar Thompson actually works. All right, Skylar Thompson actually has gotten better at his game. That still doesn't make him a good quarterback. NFL is switching to off script, dude. Bro, the aliens came down. They said, look, this is what we need to do here. All right. Debo out for a couple weeks. Yeah. I tried to trade for him. Thank God that didn't happen. Skylar Huntley can get guys that do that, more run plays. So here goes. I'm sure I missed a word or two in there. Yeah, that's what he does, but that's not what the system's set up to do, which I want to get to a comment I just saw.
They're saying that they can do more than just run the play so that they can extend plays.
No, they have athletic ability. Yeah. And then I saw Pretty Boy say that McDaniel has to change the system to fit Skyler and Huntley. You can't really do that mid-season.
You can't. That is something that takes, this playbook is built around Tua, and I feel like they trust Skyler enough. And to an extent, you have to trust your backup, but they trust him enough to have kept him with the same playbook, and he's been dealing with this playbook for his 3 years in the league now. That's what gives me at least somewhat confidence in Skyler going forward, and he did win that Jets game, given the Jets were horrible, but they had a good defense, and it was 9-3 or 9-6 or something like that. That was.
What
to make the playoffs?
I think it finished 12-9.
12-9.
No, it finished 11-9.
11. That's weird.
No, wait.
I'm pretty sure it was 9-6.
No, it was It was 11-6.
11 to
I don't know, dude. It was the worst. It was the worst game of all time.
It was the best game of all time.
I literally cried at the end. I literally shed a tear when we win.
But he did go and win that meaningful game, and then we had zero expectations for that Buffalo game in the playoffs, and we almost came away with it. Now, given Skylar did very little to actually, go with that. However, we have more weapons now. Our defense pretty damn good, and I feel like it's only going to get better the more we go into this scheme.
So my perspective of what Skylar is to the Dolphins compared to Tua, starts with look at what the offense is already right now, and we have had all offseason. We had one drive of Tua playing with the starters, but 3 preseason games, 2 full games, a game in 5/8, if you want to say, with Tua. And the offense that we already have built, which is so specifically built for Tua, that isn't necessarily working like we want it to be. Second half against the Jags, aside, first half against the Jags, full game against the Buffalo Bills, the offense isn't getting quite yet what it wants. Achane is having a feast because of it, because we are trying to push down the field. We are trying to hit things other than just go routes. We are trying to find long sustained drives, but right now long sustained drives means Achane 35-yard play. That's not an offense that you can't do that long term, right? So I say that all to say, if that's how it looks with a person who it's designed for, you now take a guy who 7th round rookie, looked fine in preseason once, got actual meaningful games, looked bad, looked fine in preseason again, but when he came in, looked bad. A guy who's never been on the team before. You can't then ask everybody else around them to now adjust to guys who aren't even that good in the first place. What you can do, and even though it doesn't fit these guys, is run a completely vanilla offense, which is what we did in the preseason. The preseason didn't look sexy. Our plays there wasn't a lot of creativity. There was pre-snap movement, which is what you still expect from the team, but there was no ingenuity. There wasn't any ingenious that you look at this team like, whoa, this is a team to be reckoned with. They're doing something different. It was what this offense is, but completely stripped of all its flair. That's what you have to do with these guys. Same ideas. You're trying to get the ball to similar spots, but some of the complexities that you would find with the offense with what it is right now, a timing offense, so incredibly precise that you ask of Tua to do, you can't operate expecting that same precision. So what you have to do is completely vanillify it, and that's what Skylar's going to get.
I can agree to a certain extent. I do think that you didn't get to sit through that last fourth quarter, lucky for you, but they did still do the motions, even with the backups in there, and I'm not sure if it was kind of get him a little used to it, because they know that going forward he's going to probably be the quarterback in the next couple weeks. But they did run that, although next week is probably going to have to be a lot of silent count, which is tough.
That place is loud. I mentioned earlier, I went there last year for a Panthers game with Andy Dalton. That place gets loud. Talking about Seattle. I mentioned that they still do pre-snap motion. That doesn't stop. We're going to be amongst the highest in the NFL. Maybe we're going to be not number 1 probably this upcoming week, but we'll probably be 7 or 8 in terms of pre-snap motion in the NFL, right? The motion is still going to be getting there, but then what we ask the receivers and players in the offense to do after the snap, you're going to see a completely different.
I would say there's going to be a lot less option routes.
The average depth of target is going to go way down, even though the average depth of target wasn't great against Buffalo anyways. The average depth of target, I haven't actually seen the numbers, but just from what I can imagine, we're pretty good. Maybe still even less than usual, but against the Jaguars, especially with those big plays for Waddle and for Tyreek, the average depth of target, I'm sure, was decent. A little bit less than what we're used to, but decent. I think the average depth of target is going to be so minimal this upcoming week. I think we're going to see a lot of dump-offs. I think we're going to see a lot of Jonnu Smith, which is what we did see when I was there when Skylar Thompson played. What I did see is Jonnu Smith got involved immediately, 2 or 3 catches with Skylar Thompson. I think you look to see the Titans get involved. I think Durham Smythe's going to get his first catch of the season because he just lets everything bounce off his head.
Smythe needs to not run a route.
He catches.
He's an offensive tackle now.
He catches balls like my brother does. And for the record, we go play football every Friday now. We went last Friday, and my brother came with us who doesn't play football. I didn't play football, but he does not play football. And like, he doesn't know how to put his hands together to catch. Like he can catch the ball, but like doing this is weird to him. Like it just doesn't make sense.
He doesn't do this. He does.
Yes, this is also a kid that can't snap his fingers. Like he can't snap his fingers at all. Like he'll do this. He flicks up, moron, and he also can't whistle. Can't explain that one. That is how Durham Smythe catches the ball. Also, the only difference is he's being paid $1 million. He's a starter for the Miami Dolphins. The only thing he does good on a football field is be handsome. That's literally it.
Yeah.
And occasionally block.
Occasionally block.
Always handsome, though. I will say that.
He is very good for the zone runs game.
I thought you were about to say he's very handsome. I thought that's where this conversation was going.
No, not at all.
Hey, top 10 NFL, dude. Underrated.
Yes. And his girlfriend, absolutely.
Is she?
Absolutely.
Is Liz watching this? Hopefully not. Is she?
Yes. You don't have to ask again. You're gonna get in trouble with your girlfriend.
Nah, she's not here. If you are, I love you though.
But anyways.
Go Eagles tonight.
Yeah, just shut down Kirk Cousins, but let Bijan run rampant, please.
No.
But yeah, overall, I think it's going to be a lot less option routes. I think it's going to maybe be predetermined throws. It's going to, and now given like you have your reads, which are kind of like predetermined. But what are you doing?
Sending this to Liz. You're so easily distracted, dude. You're like.
I have ADHD.
So do I.
You took an edible.
This is true. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. If you guys are getting lit a little bit right now, let me know what you're doing. Let me know what your beverage is. I considered a name that I did consider was Dolphins Brew, and then each week we have a different adult beverage of choice. Especially because, like, look, it's 7:45. We'll probably for a little bit longer because obviously we have Monday Night Football coming up, and you guys want to go watch Monday Night Football. We want to go watch Monday Night Football, so we're gonna do that, right? We're not gonna sit here and pretend like we need to do a live stream either for the Eagles and the Falcons, right? But every week we might you might see a Crown Peach with some soda here with some peach juice, peach mango juice. Crown Peach with mango juice.
We're getting a little off topic here.
I'm okay with this, dude. We're about to leave here, and we talk enough about Skylar Thompson. If y'all drinking anything, let me know. I'm drinking. Our sponsor of the day is actually Pepsi Zero and Gatorade Propel. Same company. Gatorade, kind of like Disney now, just monopolistic and will suck in your drinks. So yes, but if you would like to sponsor us, even though I just bashed you, cheers, because this is great. Coke or rum and Coke, certainly a great beverage. I counter that with rum and Pepsi is even better. The sweetness of Pepsi is sweeter. Mm-hmm. It nullifies more of that rum flavor, and I think it actually complements even the flavor itself. I think it complements the flavor of rum better than Coke does.
If there's people that just come in here randomly and see you talking about,
who cares?
No, I'm saying they're gonna be like, who are these doofuses?
And they'll subscribe. And if you haven't subscribed, please do that.
Do you guys seriously feel like we have a shot with Tua?
Shot?
Yes.
Shots?
I love the guy, but not as a player. Never felt like he'd done anything but the one pass.
Who's down for some 748 on a Monday night shots?
I'm drinking Crown.
Hey! Crown what? Crown Peach, Crown Apple, straight?
Probably regular Crown.
Rocks, cocktail, what are we doing, guys? We need to get specifics here.
But, Jacob and I actually have differing opinions on this.
I don't want a conversation.
It's not. We won't go too in depth. But basically, I do feel like if Tua at his full health with a good offensive line, which we do not have, yes, we can basically caramel crown on it. Ooh, that's solid. That is solid. He's shaking your hand.
Thank you for Thank you for the closed captioning on that.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm doing this. I've actually never had that, but that sounds amazing.
I've been wanting to try it.
Let's Next episode.
Next episode.
With some super chats. If you guys can buy us drinks to drink next episode, all right? We're already a little late into this one, but if y'all want to fund some 2 overweight Dolphins fans with some bevies, sorry, I included myself. All right, y'all know what to do.
Anyway.
I want to try that. Shakes hand. How you doing?
But yeah, I do feel like if we had Connor Williams fully healthy, I feel like we have a shot. Like if we had Liam at left guard, Rob Hunt at right guard, Connor Williams at center, with this Tua, because
Tua is dead.
I've said that Tua from 2020, Mike McDaniel's first year, was arguably better with how light he was, with how much more mobile he was. And we saw a little bit of the mobility before he got injured.
Appreciate you, pretty. You're pretty.
The next one, super chat.
Pretty boy, pretty.
Let's go. But yeah, I found that Tua to be better with how much lighter he was, and we saw that Tua this year a little bit more mobile, and then of course he just has to be more careful. Slide, basically, just slide to a slide. It's like if you ever watched Dukes of Hazzard where they're like, no, Bo, no. It's like slide to a slide.
That's Dukes of Hazzard is how I imagine your entire family.
No.
Is that accurate?
No.
Are you sure?
Half my family is Cuban, bro.
The other side. Hey, bro, what do you think they're doing down there? They know how to have fun. Cuban, you go to Cuba in the countryside? I'm sure they're just as crazy as we are.
Dukes of Hazzard. I'm not saying they're definitely crazy. I'm just saying they're not Dukes of Hazzard.
They know how to have a good time. That side of your family. And it is hilarious.
To get hit. This is football. You have to be able to be physical.
It is hilarious.
We've seen Tua be able to take hits. It's just it was just a perfect hit. That's
that he hit himself. You mean?
It was him. He did it himself, but he got hit in the side of the head. It was basically like a UFC fighter just kicked him in the head. That's basically what it was.
And there's going to be a lot more of that because this is the NFL and there's very large human beings that are very strong.
You're not getting kicked in the head by a UFC fighter every single play or every single game, especially quarterbacks that are the most protected in the game. If he just goes down right there, he'll be fine. It's the arm. I feel like turns into a wet noodle when he feels pressure.
Yeah.
I did make that joke actually. For the first time, I actually acknowledged the noodle arm. And it wasn't anything like too bad, but I was like, there's probably 25 other quarterbacks in the NFL that on that pick six could have gotten that ball out of bounds.
Yeah, that wasn't fun. Being a Dolphins fan has been a lot of not fun. There's been a lot of not fun moments.
A lot of false hope.
That's why we talked about, especially after last game, that's why we talked about just I think we talked about the Dolphins for like 10 minutes of this 1.5 hour live stream so far, and I am completely okay with that. I don't mind whatsoever.
I do like to talk
I'm in
about
pain.
Dolphins, but I understand. It's painful to talk about, and we probably should get to like a tiny little preview of the Seattle game.
Nah, I got nothing for that.
I do. I got a little something.
I'm actually trying to wrap this up. I need to go get food. I'm holding on. This caffeine gets you through, bro. I've eaten like 800 calories, if that. You already read that one, brother.
I didn't read all the way through. Look at Allen. That man stands tall and makes a play when shit breaks down.
Yeah, because he's a unit. Like he's athlete.
He's what, 6'6",
he is
260?
No, he's not that big. He's like 6'5", 240. He
He's
lost a lot of weight.
He's definitely 260.
No, he lost a lot of weight.
He did lose. Okay. Yeah, because we talked about this actually, because Josh Allen lost 20 pounds, Tua lost 20 pounds, Lamar lost 20 pounds.
Pretty well, you don't actually have to donate. We're just kind of yapping, but if you do, appreciate it. But you absolutely do not have to. Every Monday, except for the Tennessee game, in which we'll actually, I think I'll be at. I know he'll be at. Yeah, same situation of a family not wanting to drive down, so I get to go get with the tickets. We're going to be doing this every single Monday. give or take 6 o'clock, maybe 6:15, maybe 6:20, maybe 6:25 when we don't know how to click go live like we did today.
I didn't know that you needed, because I'm used to Twitch where you just have to hit go live once and it goes live through. On YouTube, you actually have to hit go live on your OBS and go live in your YouTube studio.
We were talking for 5 minutes thinking we were live. The camera's on, lights are on, doofuses are here, right? We thought we were talking to y'all. We were talking to ourselves, right? In that time, we talked about texting and driving. We talked about driving in a school zone. Talked about, what else? What other reckless conversation did we have pertaining running over kids within that said school zone? We went right into right field when we started off this stream, and that is gone throughout the time of history. I wanted to go back and watch that, but this guy couldn't hit go live.
Whatever.
But yeah, we will be live every single Monday, give or take 6:15, 6:30. Actually intended it just being an hour, but we got the game coming up here, so we'll end some point before the game, which is actually what I think we should do right now, because like I said, I still need to go get food. I want to get home as the game is starting. I don't even know if there's anything clip worthy that we got from this. Well, maybe you'll see clips of this throughout the week. Maybe you won't.
Yeah.
I don't know if you will.
Maybe if because I think like half the time when we actually got to a subject we're talking about worth clipping at least.
Yeah.
It got interrupted in the middle of. So if you want to go through all that editing, that's on you. I'm not.
Yeah, I don't think there'll be. There's a chance you will see clips from these live streams spread throughout the week. Say that 17 times. I dare you. But every single Monday, and then come out with content throughout the week. So if any of y'all have been hanging out with us, whether that be Pretty Boy, whether that be Lo-Fi, whether that be all the way a long time ago, Vivian, Cab, DF, Raphael. Appreciate all of y'all that have popped in. Anybody else, if I didn't mention your name, if you haven't commented, get involved in the chat. Each of these, hit that sub button. Like I said, we'll be live next Thursday, as well as just creating videos throughout the week. And we will definitely be focusing more onto actual Miami Dolphins contact coming up in these next few days leading up to the Seattle Seahawks game. Will Levis is going to be a beast. Wait and see. I mean, beast on the field or beast in the sheets?
Jesus Christ.
Number 8
in the field, number 8.
Number 8 in the field, number 8 in the sheets.
Every
that is his
time Will Levis is brought up, that's exactly what this man says to me.
That's
word for word. We don't talk about Will Levis much.
Oh yeah, so 3 times.
So like the 7 times that we talk about Will Levis, number 8 in the field, number 8 in the sheets.
It made me sound like I'm Adam. All right, dude, he has.
When it comes to Will Levis, you basically are
all the upside, all of the floor being as low as possible.
He's a Josh Allen young dude. Josh Allen wasn't that stupid.
Maybe.
Dude, look, Josh Allen is reckless and like borderline autistic sometimes when he was handling the football his rookie year.
Clip that.
Yes, absolutely. Do not clip that.
Send it to his job.
They won't care.
They don't know who you work for. He works for me, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
We have a male prostitution ring.
This is true. They only overweight guys though. That's why I gained weight.
He requested that part.
Jesus Christ.
He's Josh Allen young. He stinks.
No,
he's good.
Dude, when your head coach is sitting there and like being like, "Yeah, I said, yo, what the fuck are you doing?" I didn't want to curse, but like whatever. I was already there, and
you gotta commit or not commit, homie.
Yeah, that was bad.
You're at a bridge jump. Just send it.
His first 2 years were rough. Will Levis trying to do too much. Imagine with McDaniel.
He's got a good.
Brian Callahan is really good. Like he brought Joe Burrow to back-to-back AFC Championship games. Let's not forget that. Like that, he is a really good coach. He actually, even with Drake Browning last year, damn near made the playoffs.
This is true.
Like that, he is a really, really good coach. But
also, how much was that him? Like
Zach Taylor?
Yeah, the offensive head coach, offensive coordinator. How much is the OC really doing?
Zach Taylor.
Who is our OC?
ROC? Frank
Yeah.
Smith.
You could have just made that up. You genuinely could have just made that up. And I believe you because that is a believable name.
No,
If you said like a name,
3 head coaching interviews this offseason.
if you said like a name like Yannick Ngakoue, I would have been like, that's weird, but maybe. If you said Frank Smith or whatever you just said, sure. I'm not arguing with you on that one. I don't need to know who though. I don't care who the OC is. I care what goes on the field. All right, and also the OC. I mean, I care about Anthony Weaver because he actually does something, right?
Okay, question for you. Do you know what Frank Smith did before he got to the Dolphins?
FAU head coach.
Okay, Frank Smith. I know you know that's not true because you're an FAU fan.
Chicago Fire right back.
He was a TV show, really.
Oh, that was my next guess. Actually, that's a soccer team.
He was the offensive line coach for the Chargers.
That was my next coach ever, or that was my next guess ever. That actually, I did know that. Now you said that out loud. He also sounds like he could have been the Ottawa
Who's our
center.
offensive line coach?
Richie Incognito.
Brother. This offensive line coach that we have is probably one of the only position coaches that is actually known throughout the league.
Lamar Miller. Ronnie Brown. Don Shula. Colin Kaepernick.
All right, with that,
I'm going to Chick-fil-A. Y'all have a good night. Appreciate y'all.
He's taking me to Chick-fil-A.
That's just cap, unless you're paying for it. Appreciate y'all for watching. Haven't done so, sub. We'll see y'all neall next Monday. We'll see y'all videos coming out after this. I love you guys. Smoochies.